Aloha, good morning. It's 11 o'clock on Monday. I'm Jason, and this is the Neutral Zone. MauiNeutralZone.com, the Neutral Zone. We are on Akaku Maui Community Media Radio, 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, simulcast on Akaku Maui Community Media. To older people like me, we called it TV. I think a lot of people still think, but we're media because we are on the net. We're also at Maui Stream, an application you can find on both platforms, and that's the way to find all of Akaku's programming and the radio station, which is up there. You can also find what we do on youtube.com/@DreamMaui and the numeral 1. You can also find us. We are so happy to be here and be in public media. Years ago, they would have said, this is sort of like a podcast, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to rename our podcast MauiNeutral.zone. So that'll be another app you'll see soon, but don't go looking too quick. We've been doing interviews under this name since 2018. And it started where I was doing political interviews in my mind, and I switched it to values because I'd have to interview everyone running in a race, and it was like primary time. So I said, let me switch it to values. I've been doing shows here for 30 years, so people could understand me regularly talking about different things. Let's bring on people from all walks of life that have great ideas or have done and powerful and good, mostly local, but around the world, and we'll call it the Neutral Zone. So if someone has an idea that's not mine, they won't feel pounced on when they get here. So we've had guests over time that create very colorful, by design, shows. So you'll look through there and you'll say, wow, so much was said here, so many great issues covered from that perspective. So we hope you'll look through our archives. And into the future, just know that we're here for you. So if you have something, wherever it is that you'd like to discuss or have someone, they're welcome here to sit in this seat. Today, I have a beautiful guest. Not only beautiful visibly, but this young lady came to me. Excuse me, everyone, she could be 70, and I'd say young lady. I'm an old guy, 74, but a beautiful young lady. You were presented as someone that I saw last week who was involved showing a business that's here locally, an outside vendor, at Akaku's product to a group of people that use this area, which was great, Akaku. And you were also involved in other things because I saw you were talking here in the station, but I noticed you. And then Susie was coming in and presenting that there was this, there it was you again, that same person. I said, wow, and so I said, that's a perfect thing to add to the Neutral Zone because every guest comes with a clean slate here. I wouldn't be surprised. Someone that comes near to Akaku Media Center has something powerful to give and say. So, Roxanne Shipley, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Wasn't that a long introduction? Excuse me.
Totally fine. Gave me time to get comfortable.
Oh, good. So, are you? How may I ask? Are you? My eyes don't see age. You look like a beautiful young lady of maybe, I want to say 40s, 35 to 40.
That is a good guess. I am 41.
Oh, okay.
But I like that I look young.
Yeah. So how did you get to hear the station? What was your thoughts on coming in?
I actually had an opportunity with some friends to start something up that segued into the radio station, and I have been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time. I want to share what I'm passionate about is business. There are a lot of things that I see in Maui that can be done. I have the opportunity to open up a restaurant in the Queen Kamanu Center.
Can you get a little closer?
Sure can.
The closer you get, the less echo. That's the reason I say it.
Got it.
You were able to open up a business in the Kamanu Center with someone?
With my spouse at the time. I guess that's an if. It's not that it's iffy. It's just an.
I'm not sure what. All right, there we go. A little bit up on mic number 2. See, I am as... There we go. You won't see that in a future cut of this show, maybe, when someone... But we are live and in color, and we're here for you. We're also a call-in, call-out talk show, which I haven't found too much use for because I can't hear it. But imagine you're sitting here and you want to talk about a subject, and you'd like to speak to the Economic Development Department, and you want to talk to them about this issue. And so you, we and us and our audience, pick up the phone and call. We can do that by design or by accident. That makes us really a powerful tool, public access. How many people do that from the air live? Not many. But so when you came in here, anyway, you can see. Tell me more about you. You opened up a business in the in the Queen Kamanu Center. What happened then?
Well, it was Corn Dogs by Mr. Cow. It was a franchise, or it was becoming a franchise on Oahu. It was for sale. I had big dreams and big hopes, and I was looking to purchase that, but it fell through. But I think lots of failures lead to other opportunities, and that's what led me to Maui. We had the opportunity to open up one of the restaurants here because no one was here. And so I was the first one to bring Corn Dogs by Mr. Cow to Maui. And it was an interesting process because I've never been on Maui before, and I only moved to Hawaii in 2020, so I had not been here long. But one thing I did come with was, I want to say, a business acumen mind. I lived in Santa Barbara for 17 years, and I was surrounded by affluent people and people I've come to know who do a lot of good and happen to have money, and sometimes the stigma behind those who are wealthy is not always the positive light, but I got to see the other side, that there are people who work really hard and deserve what they have because they're willing to give. So when I came here, I saw that there was a lot. I'll get emotional and then I'll get over it and then I can move on. I saw that there was a lot of opportunity. And one thing that I do know, and which I love, is that I look like a local because I have a heart of the local, the aloha that is here. But there is, I noticed that there was something missing. It's an understanding of business and how it works and how we can take our skills and our abilities and hone it, work at it, perfect it, and bring it to life so that people come. We talk about tours. People come to us for our crafts, so we don't feel like it's being taken away by some businessman. That is, I want to say, is imaginary, because it isn't that someone is trying to take, it's just that someone else saw the opportunity and did it first. So how can, when I came here, how can I help the young people, as I hired young people at my restaurant, see that vision? And I realized what they needed to see first was the qualities that they had in themselves. The things that maybe that weren't told to them or shown to them for whatever reason. And it was cultivating that environment that encouraged that so that they could have the courage in themselves to go, I am good at this thing. And it was a restaurant, so I wasn't expecting them to stay for a very long time. I, of course, wanted them to go on to bigger and better things. And I wanted to help them cultivate that courage to go, I want to do... Wow, it's an emotional day. I want to do more for myself. And that is, for me, the joy in opening up a business, because I get to help others.
Let me break in for 2 reasons. One, breathe, relax, and know you're in a safe place. And those are tears of joy, because that passion is what I see in me when I am in touch with what really moves me. It moves me to tears through the what can be thing. It's like, I want to help others because I know the potential for better is right there. And I say better. Everyone can move at their own pace in their own direction, but the ability to have those skills that they now... Do you have like a template that you find in a business, or do you find things that you teach? Like you say, it's sort of like steps, right?
You know, it's interesting because I don't have a template, but what I have discovered was in my failure of previous businesses, I have learned what I should do better on the next one. So I've taken failure as opportunities for learning, not that I suck and I should stop trying.
Salesmen think that. They go, hey, someone said in baseball, you hit 3 out of 10, you're the rookie of the year. And, you know, you hit 4 out of 10, you're a superstar for life. So get used to a no and realize not everyone sees that vision you see. And the better that gets communicated, and sometimes it's unspoken things. So when you're here and the tears are coming out, those are tears of their blessings. They're blessing us with those tears. Thank you for caring enough. You know? Look, I always said my paintbrush is the way I look at the whole economy and business. That's how I paint. And besides everything, so I see it in you. I see that there's something in you that's a real passion. So how would you describe your business? I always try to figure out what am I doing? I was Dream Makers, and we used to help businesses, but it was before computers, and there was another business doing it. They had a business, but they had a brick place, so people understood them. So you're coming here without a brick thing, and then you're in this. I'm just comparing the Dream Maker vision I have with you, who wants to show them that there's a possibility to do what you're doing better. If you hire me, I'll help you with these services. And I don't know how you identify it. I try to identify it based on skills that I'd add to local businesses. I don't know if that's how you're going at this or not, but this was anyway, I had fun doing it before, and you know when you're still doing something and it's still right? I feel like, why would I be talking to someone who has a passion about business to the point of, what was making you cry, you think?
I think it's because passion is what drives us, and
life experience that makes you grip onto something, or is it just a passion for seeing great things happen? I mean, I envision that way. I'm curious how you do it.
I think it's... Give me a moment to gather my thoughts.
Sure. I don't talk to everyone about visions.
The tears come because of the experiences that I've had that were difficult, but understanding it is the forging through the difficulty. And I love to think in seeds. We plant seeds, and seeds are cultivated. And when we plant a seed and we cover it with soil, we do not know that it's growing, but we hope and have faith that something is going to come from the seed. And it's the forging and the roots bursting out of the seed and having to push through the soil. But it not knowing that just half an inch above, it pushes and it will see light. And so I see myself in these instances where if I didn't push, how close would I have been to see the light? And as I have witnessed that many times, and again, we plant seeds, and I used to think that I'm not a good, I don't have a green thumb, but I was realizing there are things that I needed to learn by not being successful at first, because sometimes we learn through the failure, those things that we would not have learned had we succeeded. And by doing that so many times, I have learned that the difficulty is not a no, but how much more courage do I need to continue to push forward? And it's even helping with my children in that, helping my employees see that difficulties aren't necessarily a barrier or a no or to stop. It is, what growth do I need to push through to see the light?
So, what does this seed, Roxanne, see that she's pushing through by coming to Akaku? What do you want to do here at Akaku?
I want to share my story I want to share my voice because I've gone through a lot and learned a lot about myself and recognized that when we could dig deep inside ourselves and discover who we truly are, we can then fill our cup knowing that it's not something outside of us that we are seeking. It is recognizing who we are and what we bring to the table. And when we can feel so confident in that, we could go out and be courageous and decide to do that thing that we were afraid of, because we are no longer afraid of it not working out. We are no longer afraid of what people think about us because we think highly of ourselves. And what I really want to do is share that message with the individuals who are afraid to do something because they don't think that they are enough. But it's like, can we then dive deep within ourselves and discover that you are enough? And
that is a place to cry, because you are enough. That is a great message. You are enough. That is the message that I struggle with also. Trying to actualize a dream and put all pieces together in a way that is understandable, and what I'm saying is getting a result. You're asking someone to say, hey, I believe in myself. That means when I do something, we just have, I used the baseball analogy, or about three out of 10 being a superstar. But, try anything that you do. The toughness, leather, what's the concept of leather? You hit this poor skin so many times it beats into this thing called leather. Or that's a very rough term, but isn't that true? Don't we get, what do they say? If it doesn't kill you, it builds character. It gives you the food for the next generation to grow. Isn't that what we learn when we look at seeds and if I do this and I put it here and I feed it this and I don't do that, I can have a better yield. And if I cooperate in this way and that way, I can do this and I can do that. And that makes this happen, that makes that happen. So I think of it as part of this dream, Maui, dream matrix, because already in what you've said, I see unbelievable opportunity, not only for you, but for you to do good through visions and programs that are a little more in depth than we're sharing here. But that's what the website was created to try to show, that this is all of us together. The possibility to do things bigger than we thought we could. How about this one? People that buy houses here, second houses, may feel a little bit stunned by how the locals don't really like that they're buying up their paradise, and this is rich section in Wailea and all over in Kaanapali, and then there are people don't have houses and don't have everything. What if, of the commissions earned by someone, and they gave the maximum they could by law, they'd give 100%, but they're only allowed to give 60%. So what if I give 60% to a nonprofit that puts on shows to promote art, to promote culture, is in the hotels and the cultural center, and shows to the world our culture and our environmental solutions, and all that creates a fund. That creates a fund for Akaku and public access creates a fund for Maui Arts and Music Association as the Dream, however we want to name it, to continue these shows, all from real estate sales of people that are buying here, luxury. The people that weren't even thinking of Maui specifically will say, wow, I can put money into helping. Well, I was going to use this agent. Well, you can still come to us. We'll refer you to the agent you want. All this money to what? Regenerate Maui. Now, that's a lot of words. Well, what if that runs into someone who says, I'm going to show people what they can do? And I give them a chance. Again, I feel like younger people are the ones that see that the world is pretty screwed up if we don't do anything. at a local level, we may lose this beautiful place we live in. We've been talking about it a long time, but now's the time to move. You mean we can do that through not really changing the system, just rerouting some of the monies that are used in those systems to regenerate Maui? When we had a fire and we want people to recognize we're going to showcase the best art, music, and culture of the world and regenerate our island and create solutions with the environment. Wouldn't the world want to know that? Yeah. That's why I look and when I hear you, I'm going to park this in a moment, but I heard someone who's perfect, not only to be the person to help find the other people and the people in the local community that have certain abilities, and realize that when we tie these together and take away greed, what can happen when you give, in my case, give the most you can give to be able to create something to regenerate. If I'm going to have a baby, it's going to be in this regeneration of an island that I've lived half of my life for. And I truly respect that the Hawaiian culture has been an effect on me. You're only here a little while. I hope that you'll find that the people here are very beautiful and very accepting.
They sure are.
And, I hear all kinds of things about, the people in the mainland in a stance. I think we're just going to create a better quality of life by cooperating in a new and unique way with, I want to say, with the new and the old both working together to create something really special as an example to the world. Like a host who goes off on a tangent for so long in the middle of the show. Goodness. Please excuse me for that, but I'm sure I'm showing you that I'm what I feel is a willing candidate. How do you describe what you do? Or that's only a facet of you, I'm sure.
A facet. You are correct. I am discovering new things about myself each day too. So, it's interesting because I thought that I wanted to do business coaching because what I'm good at is taking information from a business and give me your P&L, give me your balance sheet, and I could read the story. And I could tell you where efficiencies are or are not, where we could increase the bottom line. And by making improvements X, Y, and Z, I could see where money can be had. Because I was in a position where someone just needed to tell me that when I owned a gym in Santa Barbara, but they didn't until we were already closing. And I realized that's what I wanted because for business owners, they go in with their passion and their dream and they put their whole hearts out there. But because of the failure, that's where they fear to try it again because you got to be vulnerable. You got to put your whole self out there. You're risking everything. And then I realized when you risk everything, do you lose everything? Actually, what you gain is far greater than what you lose monetarily, what you lose physically. In taking the risk, I have learned so much about business that I am now passionate. When I go into a business, I understand what the business owner wants as an employee because I've been on the other side. Then I understand as a business owner what I need to do for my employees so that they are loyal to me and want to come to work and do a good job. It's a culture that I cultivate. And I want to help other business owners create that for themselves. It's like a win-win. Your employees help you sell the thing that you created so that you could go out and sell more, not so that you can use your hands and work in your business, but it's also understanding that you have to put in time in your business. You can't just automatically say, I have this business idea and think that you are hands off. That is the false notion. There is time and commitment that you are willing to give, then you share that with your employees. So they then trust you so that they are willing to back you when you go out and look, quote unquote, like they're not working because they know you are working. You are working so they could keep their job, so that they could grow and they could grow in it with you. And that is the biggest thing I want to share because there are a lot of business owners. There's a scarcity mindset, and I just have to say, there's this phrase that I live by. From abundance, we take from abundance, but abundance still remains. If there's always going to be enough, there's never a fear that someone's going to take my idea. There's never a fear that someone else is going to then I'm not going to have what I need. Because even if we look at a specific market, one person cannot cater to an entire market. We just don't have the capacity to do it. So it is okay if we share that. But then we just have to know what's enough for us. And sometimes it's also honing it down. Like, if we don't know how much is enough, we think we need everything. When really, we just need a small portion. Figure out what that small portion is so that you know you have enough. When you know you have enough and your needs are met, then that's where you can give. That's when you could go out and not feel the need to get every sale and do things that aren't benefiting your growth, and recognizing that there's nothing that you're losing in growing more.
As I'm listening, I'm hearing great encouragement for, I want to say, the troops. Being a retail, I mean, to me, the businesses you're talking about, the ones that have employees, so that is our Maui market. We have a tremendous workforce that, having companies find allegiance in their employees, has got to really ring a lot of bells out there. Many employers who recognize, because of their feeling of, possibly, their feeling of scarcity about losing, instead of building a culture at their company, like you're saying, where the owner is building respect from his employees and building a culture that makes them want to grow there instead of going somewhere else. And so it's really been interesting. Do you have courses, or do you do the teaching one-on-one, or how do you deliver who you are?
To be
Radio.
honest, yes,
That's what we're
on
talking
the radio
about, right?
today. There we go.
No, that's almost why you walked in, isn't it? Because you can talk to people about what's going on and what they're feeling and the things that are happening at work, that they can stay anonymous and be able to share in ways that you almost be like I don't want to say Dr. Finance. Not really finance. It's spirit-filled. It's self. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe you can better than me. It's. I think of it as take their vision and put a little action to it and create it in the environment they want, both as employees and employers, to create an environment that works for them. Isn't that what we're talking about? When you go out of a place, you have to be the boss and show that you care about this and where and what to get your employees to be, I'd hope, in one and spirit with what you are doing, and give them a future too. Right?
I think about breathing back life into the dream that initially got them to take that risk to open up the business. And I think it's lost in the monotony of the day-to-day of having to pay the bills, having to make ends meet. And I've learned that you don't necessarily go into business the first time for your passion, because then your passion will become a drain to you because you no longer love to do it, because it's backed by having to cover the bills, having to make enough to make ends meet, even during the times when you're struggling yourself to make a paycheck.
So do you, for example, do you start and talk to a client who's thinking of it, or you look at someone who's in business that needs to reevaluate, okay, if you did this and did that and you could do this, then you wouldn't that. Imagine that's the food for what you do.
Yes, it's getting them to realize for themselves, one, do they still want to do this? And if they still want to do it, I love the word pivot. What is the pivot that needs to be done in order to make it work? And to recognize that things change. If things change, we cannot continue to do the things the same way and expecting a different result. And then it's recognizing, are there things that need to then be pared down to get to the core of what you truly love, and only provide that and not think you have to provide 50 other things to cover up the very one thing that should be served, given, shared. And it's, again, peeling back the onion and finding the core. What is your purpose? And I feel like when we find our personal purpose, we can then find the purpose in the things that we're doing.
Wow. How do people, let me just see how we're doing with time. Oh, we have time. Good. How do people find you?
Right now, they could find me on Facebook, Roxanne Shipley. That is a good question because I am not findable, but that's one thing that they could do.
But they can. Facebook?
Yes.
Roxanne Shipley, Shipley.
That is correct.
Roxanne. No, so that's easy enough. Are you the only one they're going to find, or are you going to have to identify by something else in this new world?
Well,
Maui? No.
Kihei.
Okay.
They could, Roxanne Shipley and
And you'll
Kihei.
see her beautiful face, I'm sure. That's how you'll know.
Thanks.
Well, I'm really glad that you came into Akaku. What is it most important that brings you passion? What do you want our audience to know, and what would you like to get happen from today that would make you feel like you got done what you wanted to get done?
That is a good question. I think I never thought that I would want to do this, but I understand why there was the initial hesitation. I started with the Jay Shetty coaching certification, and I would love to be a coach, but it's a coach to help people discover themselves, to help them realize that they have always had the answers to the questions they have about what they should do in life and what is their purpose. And I realize that sometimes people just need someone to hold space for them, to hear them, to validate them, but then to encourage them in the thing that they want by allowing their answers to be the guidance to what it is that they need to do. I want to coach them in them being the ones who create the path, and I just help encourage and guide them on that path. I'm not here to tell them what they should and should not do, because what I do is not what someone else should do, and I love the idea that we all know what we need to do, what is best for ourselves, and I want to help them discover what that is.
Okay, so I think as I'm trying to almost come to a question like, so how does someone contact you? If they go to Roxanne Shipley, when you get new things, you can give them to me, and I'll consistently update on there so we can get current information.
I would love that.
All right. But so you can also find her through us. My thought is that if people want to do that, some people are in existing businesses and hear you and say, God, we should talk to her. And they'll call you. So if you offer a phone number, which you probably don't want to do because most people don't do what I do, 808-874-5900. That's the number. You can find us. When you call from around the world, just please respect the time zone. But most people want to give either a business number or an email or some way, because I can't imagine where viewers, wherever you are, you can get help, maybe more that when do you mostly work in person or you work online? How do people get to you?
I love in person because there is a personability, and I want to say, I don't know how people feel about this, but there is an energy that I feel that helps me to know about the sincerity or the actual intent of the thing that they think that they want to do, and it helps me to go, are you sure that's something you want to do? So I love to do it in person, but we can do it over Zoom or even a phone call.
No, but I mean,
But I personally...
So do I say, okay, I'm going to give you $250 for an opening session, and we're going to evaluate, and then I'm going to kind of lay out a plan, and we're going to do so much per month, and these are the goals that we're going to have to establish, and you're going to help set these goals. That's part of this initial session, what we're doing, and you'll know what you're trying to accomplish and how we might explore how to do it. Is that how you do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. That was a good segue.
So how do they, that's why I'm saying, so if you have any trouble finding her, you can call us or you can send us a message and we'll get the word to Roxanne. Also very important to know, when I think about what you're doing, how long are you here? A couple of years, couple of months?
Maui is my home, so I am here.
Okay. So now that you're here, I'm thinking that what you're doing, when you talked about Zoom, is something that all you guys on Big Island or Oahu or Kauai, please take heed. In this day and age, one of the best things about living on Maui is you do have an opportunity to make money from places other than here. And if we understand that as Maui people and businesses, there's a whole other world. So I want to open that fact, because that's also the backbone of creating opportunity for people here.
Oh, right.
So when we're living here, we're going to be able to cross boundaries that others never considered when they were starting. And we're going to take, like you said, you're the first one on Maui with a X. Right, that's a physical business. So there are going to be businesses that'll be probably wanting your help to possibility of being in Maui and how to go about it. So that's a great thing. And also the local businesses that are here. So I'm really glad to have had an opportunity to speak with someone like yourself on the air.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you allowed me to come. And
Well,
it has
I
been
really
fun.
didn't really know what we were going to explore and why. That's why I ask you. Any things that I'm not asking you that would say, he didn't ask me if I sing. I wanted to sing with him.
I play the piano. That's
You do.
I can't sing, but I play the piano a lot more confidently than I sing right now.
Well, you might be, for what we're doing, important to be able to, at whatever level, share what we're doing with important people who know how to be important to what we're doing. Like when I'm saying stuff, I'm never really saying it openly, but all of us have our own unique part in the matrix. Like when someone says to me, I was number 14 of the people that Mark Zuckerberg hired. Well, first of all, you were or still are very rich, but let's forget that. But if I wanted to be able to share a concept that needs to get to the right place to be able to be seen, those are as important as anything. And so that's why when I listen with that kind of ear, because how do you get someone that has billions to be part of a group to be able to fund an equity sharing project to help local people and buy expensive real estate and be understood to be, just like you said, just because someone's rich doesn't mean they don't deserve to be rich. Maybe they can spend their money however they want. But if they can do something that they want and help at the same, that's the level that you hear me appealing to. But many of them would say, wait a minute, I don't know if I want a house on Maui, but I will help you do this. I'm going to be that's. So when I hear someone like that from something like that from someone like you, I can only think that Maui's future is going to be depending upon those that see their place in this matrix. I see that as very highly regarded because, when you have billionaires, you have this weekend, on Labor Day weekend, no billionaires, we don't want you on Maui abusing us. I agree. And we're a neutral zone, more like, come on to the show. If you want, we'll have you right here, or you can be on Zoom. And we'll talk about how, without moving your assets, you can help fund the housing project here and solve the problems. We won't ask any money from the government. We'll coordinate, and they'll keep it all in check so they'll know that we're not running away and doing something that's going to not help this community. Who's presenting those ideas? We can do that. I say we with the capital we, but you yourself if you want to be involved. But isn't that amazing? That all we have to do is learn that there is no wall. You go to LinkedIn and they say, I'm sorry, you only can know someone 2 levels deep. If you pay the right fee, though, you can put your message out to this many levels deep. And wait. So the world is different. That's why I say, I don't know how marketing works. But we've been doing things for 30 years that if people saw what we were doing, they'd be saying, yay, why didn't we get it before? Why didn't we do it before? So that's what I carry to this show. Every time I do, I speak to a guest, and I know that guest has the power to share the show. They have a power to, just like you said to this person that owns a business, if you see the vision and you have guidelines so you know where those guardrails are, your success with your passion has nothing, all that you're not getting is building you, and your life is going to be perfect because you're seeing what your strengths are and what makes you happy. And maybe I'm not talking in the same words that you are. Maybe I am.
You're doing a good job. No.
Isn't that what you'd be saying to someone? Hey, look, here, you're running this popcorn stand, and if you're running it and you don't want to do it yourself, that's great. But first you are, and you have a passion for opening it and running it, and you're going to be making it the best popcorn stand. And not only that, others are going to want to be working with you because what they see, they want to work with you because of who and what you are and the way that you are your business, that you are the best at your business that there is. And you can feel good about it, even if you never go out of this. And maybe you will, because you see a possibility in yourself. I don't know if I talk in words that often people think, oh, that's not realistic. But that's what I do to myself. Why not? How am I standing in my way? What am I not doing? Am I not taking that chance? Now that I'm older, I understand that even more. Why didn't you take a dive or jump into the pool? And some people say, well, that's the reason you're not a Skrillionaire now. Well, maybe that's true, but look at the lessons, life lessons, that we learn along the way. So we all finally find, that's how I'm looking at business. We find what perfect is. It is perfect. You're learning lessons along the way to make you the best you that you can be. And that's when you start to smile. And you sit on your own, you think you're sitting on your own television show and that nobody's listening. And then someone from Sweden calls you, or Pakistan, and does an interview with you. You know, this is a new age, I have to shut up. You're talking I always thought that business was it, that people could be way better at what they do. If they put their passion into what they're doing, like when you were up here helping those people share their thing, you put passion out there into your community, you can build your community, physically build your community. You know, I'm talking internet because it's all because of you. It's your fault. All you buy online because you go to 3 stores and you can't find the right softness on the pillow. So you buy it on internet. And you just skip this little local vendor who really needed you to buy a pillow. So we have to figure out what we can do. Well, I keep going back to, because it's really important to me. What do you really want to say today? What is it that you wanted when you came on the air? What were you looking to do? Because I want to help if I can. Right? We want to help?
That would be great. I want to start a podcast. I want to share my voice. I want to give business advice because I know business. And I know that when I start talking about business, life experiences and life lessons come out too. And in it, when you learn about business, it's not just about the finances and the thing. You learn about people. You learn about the theory of things and the actuality of things. You learn about laws and taxes. You learn about all these things that are components of the whole. And I would love to break that down. I could talk all day. So I guess if I had a meeting.
Could you talk to those guys?
Yes, I can. And what should I just share that?
No, you just shared it. You see that? You see what we learn after is that this seat has as much, I want to say power, as much as we give it. If you put this show out, you're going to get response. And you keep putting it out, you're going to get, and you keep putting it out. Isn't that what we're talking about? So this camera represents the world to me, because the world will hear this message. They'll hear Hey, if you're on Maui, do you know that on September 20th, well, what tour are we on right now?
The 8th.
We're the 8th. So in a couple of weeks, you can come to a creative social at Akaku from 10 to 12. You can register here at Akaku, which is at 333 Dairy Road, Maui Creative Social. It has video and film and radio and podcast and talk story. And there are going to be people like Roxanne and myself there. And we're going to be talking about what can happen here at Akaku and whatever you want to talk about. So that's September 20th. I'd put that on your schedule, anyone out there. Well, if that wasn't enough, once you start coming here in the mornings on Saturday, you're going to say, there's a podcasting basic workshop with Susie Gaston. Susie Gaston. I don't know how to spell it. Say it. I know how to spell it. But she has a 10 to 12 workshop on podcasting. Susie has been here a number of years supporting in roles in Akaku and knows it all. And she's going to teach about podcasting and basics from 10 to 12 on Saturday, the 27th. You can call here at Akaku, which is 808-871-5554. We're at 333 Dairy Road, Suite 205 in Kahului, Maui. 96732. I don't know why you would write. And if you're on and you can see this, you can scan it in onto your phone or other device if you can get that close, but you probably shouldn't. You should probably go to akaku.org. You'll see, or call. That's two creative things in the weekends. And if weekends don't hold enough, during the week, every third Thursday upstairs in Akaku, that's the same 333 Dairy Road, Suite 204, not 206 or 205, but 204. Kat Tracy has Akaku upstairs in Maui's Deadly Firestorm, a screening with people that were survivors of the firestorm, if you will, in Lahaina and Kula. I don't know what this is, but if you want to find out first time, it's on PBS and Frontline, has been seen. And this is another one. If you can see this, like I say, look at the Akaku website. I'm sure they'll lead you to what this is all about. I don't know which camera is on which, but we'll see. So that's really a Thursday, every third Thursday, and every Saturday, or it surely seems like often Saturdays. They have different things here at Akaku, 10 to 12 upstairs. That's a great thing. I hope I haven't bored you with some of this other stuff here.
No, because it was actually the social that brought me here and met some really good people.
Oh, see? Yeah.
So, yes, share it, because that's how I found out about it.
See that? That's a really good example of how getting to come out to some of these things. I know that I want to be at that workshop about podcasts because people have been telling me you've been doing podcasts forever. My brother started a podcast, has 10,000. I asked him, how did you get all those things? He says, I don't know. Kids in my school gave me a thing and they spent $10,000. There are ways. That's why I say things happen. And you young people out there and out here know better than me because, I'm talking a lot of these ideas and not doing them. But that's why, as a dream maker, through the years, I hope I'm the guiding force, just sort of like you are. That's why I found such an alignment where we're going to have to talk, and I can show you where, through our mutual ideas, you might be able to accomplish your goals and our. Isn't that the way life should be? To find that we together accomplish more than just separate. Because we is, when someone says, I'm happy, are you happy in a void of nothing? If you see things around you that aren't happy, does that make you happy? So I live in a world, I'm sure you live in a world, where people's successes are your joy. That's what you find in what you share and what you do. That's a beautiful thing.
I would agree.
So I know we have a little bit of time, so I wouldn't call it stretching. Tell us about you. I mean, what did you do before here? You had a marriage and a wife and kids, and you're doing everything at the same time. You look so young, truly.
Thank you. I was married for 21 years.
Wow.
I do have 6 kids. My oldest will be 21 this month, and my youngest just turned 9. And the rest in between are about 2.5 years apart.
All
and
on Maui?
all in Santa Barbara. I went to UC Santa Barbara, and I was going to study business economics and political science. I wanted to be a lawyer and then eventually a Supreme Court judge. But look where it got me. It was the idea that it was a goal that I reached for, but it isn't necessarily that you reach it, but it helps you move in that direction. And as we move in that direction, we find that we are pushed to and fro, and to find the actual path that we need to be on. And being here in Maui has helped me to find that path, even though lots of things have happened in my life. I have 4 girls and 2 boys. One of the things that I wanted to do with my children was to become the mother that I wish I had. And I have a great relationship with my mom. And it was when I moved out of the house that I started to have a relationship with her. And had she not raised me the way that she did, I would not have been able to raise my children consciously the way that I did. And it was definitely with more love, with more attention, more encouragement in the things that I knew that they were good at and focused on the positive. And when we moved to Hawaii, the family structure is a lot different than what we were surrounded by in Santa Barbara. And I was grateful that during the time I was able to be their mother, and I was encouraged as their mother when I was married. So that is the positive thing that came out of it. That they saw the difference and have spoken gratitude to me for raising them the way that they did. So that brings a lot of joy to me as a mother, because that's not what I was looking for. But I'm grateful to have received it. And I came here to do business. Business is definitely what I did. And I came here for accounting. Instead, that fell through. We came anyway. And we bought a food truck on Oahu across from Giovanni's Shrimp. We sold drinks. That is when I discovered how lucrative the food industry is, but it's on small menu, very specific. Don't have everything, don't offer everything because you can't. But if you were to offer, what can you offer the best thing of that thing? And we did drinks. And that led me to Mr. Cal. Mr. Cal led me to Maui. And the success from that led me to work a little bit in Cold Stones. That didn't exactly end up the way that I wanted, but I learned so much about, again, seeing what the good was there. And Cold Stone Ice Cream, that's in the PKI Shopping Center. It is now owned by new owners, but the drive and the desire to make it grow, to provide the good ice cream that my family and I love, and the ice cream cakes that I still get to decorate. Definitely you could pick up Cold Stone Ice Cream there. And then from there, it's like, if this isn't what I'm going to do, what is it? And I realized that I was at the front lines in Cold Stones, like I was doing the day-to-day. But doing the day-to-day did not allow me to do what I was good at, and that was talking to other business owners, growing, helping them see what I'm involved with. And because I was involved with it, they then would want to contribute and support. And I realized people support not just the business name like Cold Stones, they support the people behind it. And if there are good people behind it, whatever you bring out into the world, you can ensure that it's going to be supported. So that's why I got into business.
Well, you're a terrific person, never mind a terrific guest. I would like to see success of what you do. Anything that from this show, for example, we know that they can go to Roxanne Shipley up on Facebook and find you and reach out there and as a new friend or however they message.
Yeah, or they can message me. Yeah.
In this new age of contact, that should be enough. But if you need to speak to Roxanne, you can also get her through us. And if you're on the radio, you can't see, so 808-874-5900, talk or text. MauiNeutralZone.com, but really YouTube at Dream Maui #1, Maui Stream, all these ways. You know what's so fun? If you want to be found these days, you be found. So, Roxanne, I really have appreciated you as a guest today. I hope that you will come back as your successes grow. I know that I'm going to want to talk to you about what I do, but I know that you're going to also want to come on the 20th from 10 to 12 to the Maui Creative Social here at Akaku, because that's how you met all of us. And there
I
are
will
many
be there.
people coming out. You come out too, all you out there in radio and TV land, media land, internet land. Podcast on the 20th, Podcast Basics on the 27th. 20th is the Creative Social. And every Thursday, third Thursday, is up there in Akaku upstairs. Well, we only have 46. Roxanne Shipley, thank you for being on our show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do it again.
Yeah, I look forward to that. And out there in radio, TV land, thank you for joining us. See you again. All those around the world, we love you. Just make sure when you call and contact us, we are up. Love you, everyone.